what's up? I'm Zoe. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about balance and get into the mental aspects of it. Now, for me, one of the most important things is to remember is that passion fuels passion. And what I mean by that is, what other interests or hobbies do you have? Or simply, what brings you satisfaction? Rock climbing or emptying a dishwasher. Throwing yourself into those sensations for a little while and picking up experiences that you can apply to your practice is really something that's going to help you. And that can be from anything like a morning routine, how you prepare for a session or your dives, to visualizations, to how you battle uncomfortable sensations. And for me, oftentimes it's how I pick myself back up when things don't really go to plan. And, and this is a funny example, but I train animals on the side. And the way that I need to show patience and understanding to a little puppy when I'm introducing it to the world is really not dissimilar to how I acclimatize my mind to greater depths. And really what that shows is that wisdom can come from anywhere. And the more creative that you can get with these intrigues, and the better the cheat sheet that you're going to have for your practice. It's really about opening yourself up to being a student of life. And that's how we're going to start balancing our perspectives and enriching our practice. It's important not to put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put too much pressure on just one thing, and then instead observe how they interact and leave some space for mistakes, for play, and for surprises. Another thing is letting go of letting go. The ego is a term often thrown around, and what is it really? For me, it's that nagging and greedy voice that keeps telling me that I can't rest until I'm good enough. And really, we're never going to be good enough at being good enough. That's the catch. We all have an ego, and it's no doubt a downfall in freediving, but it is a human experience that we have to embrace. Sometimes the ego is present, and that's okay. And sometimes the ego is angrily banging on the mind's door, and that's okay too. Make friends with that, acknowledge it, and then set a boundary. Don't let it coerce you into a cycle of negative self-talk. We talk about letting go in the sport so much that it becomes like a sport of its own, and really that's totally counterproductive. It's about being perfectly imperfect. And the more that we embrace this spirituality of imperfection, and the more whole our practice will be. And this is when we can really start shifting our perceptions on bumps in the road as indications of where we can grow and where we can move forward. Don't let that ego scare you into pushing yourself too far and too fast. Don't let it rule you with numbers on a dive computer. Patience may seem like a long run, but actually, in reality, it is the shortcut to sustainable progress. Respect where your body and your mind is at, and then treat them as individuals every single time you get into the water. What might feel good one day might not feel good the next, and vice versa. In a sport where plateaus can be really long and progression can be few and far between, it's pretty much inevitable that at one point we're going to be comparing ourselves to others and to their achievements. But try replacing those comparisons with compassion. Have compassion for the hardships that they faced and the sacrifices that they made to get to where they are. And then be grateful that these differences in time, in distance, and in depth can help us realize that goals can be achieved and that these goals have actually paved the way for bigger dreams. Be humble. Don't be shy. Ask questions about the best training spots, EQ, breathe ups, technique, all of those things. Chances are, if you can't help but compare yourself, you're going to have a lot to learn there. Make use of that. And then if you experience jealousy and criticism and judgments, have compassion for the reasons why people feel the need to act that way. And most importantly, have compassion for yourself. Give yourself that same grace. Forgive yourself for mistakes, for red cards and early turns and blackouts. Focus on what is instead of what isn't. And fill that with humility and curiosity. Rounding up your strengths after each session is going to provide a far better picture than focusing on the gaps that you have yet to bridge. And that really is how you build a consistent toolbox. And finally, don't take yourself too seriously. Life is a game, and so is freediving. And what you have to do is just play the cards that you're dealt in each specific moment and treat it as such. A bad dive does not mean a bad session, and a bad session does not mean a wasted day, week, or month. Don't let anxious sensations or aborted missions affect you as either negative or positive. Instead, look at them as situations that you can choose how to respond to. Take a step back and flip the frame. It's so easy to get lost in everyday frustrations, but actually by giving it some space and zooming out, you can really delight in how far you've come. 2 years ago, I didn't even know what freediving was. Laugh at yourself and, just enjoy every single second of it, because not many people are lucky enough to pick up this practice, this sport, this passion, and really experience their bodies in these environments. Take it in with the wonderment of a little kid. Remember what enchanted you on that first dive that made you fall in love with this sport. And take that memory with you on every PB run and training stretch. Nothing is ever going to feel as sweet as the first time that you submerged your face in water and you discovered this world. Try and be present with that feeling. Try and honor it, because really it is what got you to where you are now. And if you figure out how to do all of this, please hit me up.